Howdy, friends. Let me start by saying this. I appreciate you. I myself am a cow-calf producer on my own farm since 1990. I appreciate every cattleman and cattlewoman who gets up early, who works long hours in all kinds of weather, and puts in the effort to raise the best beef in the world. America depends on you. Today, I want to talk about a smarter way to ranch with less work, higher profits, and healthier land. And this job that you do isn't easy, and it has never been easy. Yet, you show up day after day because it's who you are. You're not just ranchers, you're caretakers of the land. Without you, this country wouldn't have open spaces, thriving grasslands, or healthy cattle. But let me ask you something. Are you getting the results you deserve? Are your pastures improving year after year? Are you running the number of cattle you'd like to run? Are you spending less time and money on hay and feed? If not, let me tell you, it's not your fault. You've been following the advice of grazing experts, university programs, and grazing gurus who sound good in a conference room but don't make their living from cattle. They told us to move cattle frequently or too little. They told us to leave too much behind so grass stays vegetative. They told us to depend on hay because grazing can support more cows. But they forgot something very important, and that is our creativity. And guess what? That advice has set ranchers back for decades. So what happened to our land? You probably noticed something over the years. Land that used to be rich, productive grassland is now covered in brush, weeds, or is thin and patchy. Why? Because we've been taught to graze in a way that weakens our best grasses and burns through our soil fertility. We were told to top graze and leave the best parts behind. But what really happened? Cattle consumed their favorite grass first, leaving the undesirable ones to take over the pasture. We weakened root systems, shortening roots and growth periods and reducing productivity. We overgrazed the regrowth, causing our land to degrade faster than it could heal. And this happens a lot when it's dry or we're in a drought. And now, after generations of this advice, we're seeing land that used to be lush turning into brush and bare soil. I am sure you have observed this. Here's the hard truth. We didn't do this. Conventional grazing management did. Some folks might say, well, that's just nature, but we know better. Grasslands evolved under heavy grazing, just not the way we were taught. And the good news, we can restore our land, and it won't take decades. It will take just a few seasons. But first, we have to stop listening to the wrong people. I'm going to tell you some myths that are hurting ranchers. For years, we've been told that building soil fertility takes a long time and depends on the amount of litter or soil armor left behind. But let's think about that for a minute. Green leaves create energy through photosynthesis. Stems and old growth use energy through respiration. We all learned this in high school biology classes. So why do grazing experts ignore it? If we manage our cattle grazing, to maximize leafy regrowth, we build soil fertility faster, increase stocking rates without extra hay, restore productive grasses naturally. But what do most grazing plants do? They promote selective grazing, leaving the worst species to take over your pastures. And that will not allow you to carry more productive cows in your land. Think about it. If you only let your cattle graze the tops, are they eating what's best? Or are they eating what they like most while ignoring the rest? Now, imagine if we graze smarter, where we let cattle graze efficiently so they take down everything evenly. We give pastures time to recover completely, not just rest, because sometimes if growing conditions are not there, the plant will not recover. And then we come back with the cows. That's the worst thing you can do. Now imagine if we graze smarter and we stockpile high quality standing hay for the dry season so no extra hay is needed. This is effortless plant grazing. No extra work, no extra cost, just better results. Let me tell you how this system doubles your herd numbers without more work. I know what you might be thinking. I don't have the time for some complicated grazing system. And that's exactly why effortless plant grazing works. You don't have to move cattle every day. You don't need fancy equipment, and you don't need a huge investment in education or in fencing infrastructure. Here's how it works. Number one, move cattle every 2 to 4 weeks in the dry season. That's it. 2 to 4 weeks in the dry season. No daily rotations, no extra labor. This gives cattle time to graze efficiently, prevent selective grazing, and obtain the best animal performance because we want our cattle to be in our highest quality grass in the green season. Number two, stockpile a third of your ranch for next year's standing hay. No need to cut and bale, just let nature do the work. This eliminates most of your hay costs and allows your best grass species seedlings to establish and produce seed without them being killed by returning livestock. 3. Use cattle with adapted genetics, especially nutritional adaptation. Not all cows are created equal. Some thrive on forage alone, some need grain, and some thrive on poorer grazing. And stop selecting only for size. Start selecting for efficiency, where each ton of grass you produce is converted more efficiently to pounds of weaned calves. Number 4, grazing efficiently improves soil faster than just topping pastures off. And over time, you get thicker, leafier grass instead of weeds and brush. What regrows after you mow a lawn? Green leaves or stems? Of course, green leaves, and that's what we want. And healthier soil means higher stocking rates. And higher stocking rates means more profits because more productive cattle dilute your annual costs. With this approach, You can double your herd size without buying more land. Does this sound easier than what you're doing now? Now let me tell you why now is the time to change. The truth is, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get the same results. Or we can manage grazing to build better pastures and run more cattle without extra costs and without inputs. Just being wiser. We can keep feeding hay for 4 to 6 months of a year, or we can graze smarter and save thousands on feed costs. We can keep calving year-round, or we can have our cows calving the best time of the year to increase our stocking rate. And remember, stocking rate determines profits. And the best part, this doesn't take more work. It actually takes less work. But you have to take the first step. So get started today. You do not have to figure this out on your own. I've already done that for you. I put everything I know, all my experience, 38 years experience, into effortless planned grazing, a simple step-by-step course that will show you exactly how to double your herd size, build soil fertility faster without inputs, save thousands of dollars on hay, reduce labor and stress. You can start today. Go to www.rwranching.com/learn and enroll now and get instant access. Imagine this. Next year, instead of scrambling for hay, you'll have lush standing forage with leafier plants even in a standing hay. Instead of fighting weeds and brush, you'll have thicker, leafier grass. Instead of working harder, you'll be ranching smarter. You've worked hard for years. You deserve to see better results. I appreciate you, and I'm here to help you succeed. Let's ranch smarter, not harder. Thank you for listening. See you inside the course. Visit www.rwranching.com/learn to start now and subscribe to my weekly blog. May God bless you and bless your ranch.